You managed a team today, or you balanced a budget, or maybe you solved a complex problem for a client that nobody else in your office knew how to fix. You're competent. You're the woman that people call when their lives fall apart because you are the anchor. And yet, at 10:15 p.m. tonight, you sat on the edge of your bed, staring at an unread text message, feeling a level of panic in your chest that a 5-year-old child feels when they get lost in the supermarket. And the worst part, it wasn't the panic. The worst part was the voice inside your own head saying, you have a master's degree. You run a business. You're 40 years old. Why are you acting like this over a man who didn't even ask you a single question about your day? Well, if that is you, take a very deep breath. Because you're not crazy and you're not weak and you're not bad at relationships. You're just caught in the high achiever's somatic trap. And over the next 17 minutes, I'm going to show you the exact biological reason why your success in the boardroom is actively sabotaging your nervous system in the bedroom, and how we can actually stop it. Put your phone on the table. You don't need to take notes. Just sit here with me. Most of the women who come to my practice are dangerously intelligent, and I use the word dangerously on purpose. Because when an intelligent woman experiences a relational wound, she treats her trauma the same exact way she treats a corporate promotion. She tries to study her way out of it. Tell me if this is your search history. Maybe you discover the term anxious attachment, you bought the book Attached, you took the Instagram quizzes, you figured out that you have an anxious, preoccupied, leaning toward disorganized style. Maybe you can even map out your childhood triggers on a whiteboard. You sat in talk therapy for 2 years and said, oh yes, I get it now. I chase emotionally unavailable men because my father was inconsistent between the ages of 4 and 7. And your therapist nods and you feel a rush of dopamine because your brain said, aha, we solved it. We named the data point. But then Friday night comes and a man pulls his energy back 10%, and your whiteboard, your intellect just sat in the passenger seat watching your body grab the steering wheel and text him 4 times in a row. Why? Because you cannot project manage a trauma response. Your prefrontal cortex, the smart CEO part of your brain, it learned the vocabulary of your pain, but your brainstem, the 500 million year old lizard part of your nervous system, doesn't read books and it doesn't speak English. It just speaks one language: safety versus threat. So when you try to use mindset work to stop your anxious attachment, it is the equivalent of trying to put out a kitchen fire by reading the manual on how a fire extinguisher works. You don't have a knowledge problem, you have a wiring problem. I want to give you a piece of vocabulary today that nobody in the mainstream coaching world is going to tell you because it doesn't quite fit on a cute pastel Instagram carousel. You do not love him, you love the revival. Well, let me explain what happens inside of your nervous system during the hot and cold loop. So when an emotionally unavailable partner goes quiet, your body perceives a threat to survival. Because in the wild, being abandoned by the tribe meant certain death. So your body releases a massive toxic cocktail of cortisol and adrenaline. Your blood leaves your stomach, which is why you lose your appetite or you have digestive problems, your jaw clamps down, your breathing gets shallow, because somatically your body feels like it's running out of oxygen. You're holding your breath underwater. But then 3 days later, his name pops up on your lock screen. He says something like, hey, sorry, wild week. Are you free Thursday? And what happens in your body in that exact microsecond, it's like a giant exhale, a massive sense of relief. and a massive rush of dopamine and oxytocin floods your system. Your lungs expand, your stomach settles, and you can breathe again. Your brain looks at that rush of oxygen and says, look how much you love him. Look how electric this connection is. Well, my sweet friend, that is not romance. That is a person taking his foot off your neck and you thanking him for it. Maybe you've spent 10, 15, 20 years confusing the relief of not dying with the feeling of being loved. And the tragedy of the high-achieving woman is that because you survive high-stress environments all day at work, your nervous system has built an absurdly high tolerance for cortisol. A normal woman feels that anxiety and walks away on day 4. But your CEO brain says, oh, a high stress, low probability scenario? Great. Put me in coach. I can fix this. You turned your relationship into a hostile takeover. Now, let's talk about the nice guy. Because half of you watching this are saying, Alina, I actually dated a secure, nice guy last year. He texted me good morning every day. He planned dates. And I felt nothing. I actually felt repulsed by him. And then you hated yourself for it. You said, see, like I'm broken. I get a good man and I get the icks. No. Well, let's look at the nervous system logic. If your nervous system grew up in a home where safety was unpredictable, meaning sometimes the house was quiet and then out of nowhere an explosion happened, your nervous system developed a radar. It learned quiet does not mean safe. Quiet means the monster is reloading. And when you date a chaotic man, your nervous system is actually relaxed in a weird, twisted way because the threat is visible. You know where the tiger is. He's right there being a jerk. But when you date a healthy, consistent man and he's just calm, your nervous system starts scanning the horizon. It says, where is the trap? Why is it so quiet? What is he hiding? And because your body can't sustain the hypervigilance of waiting for an invisible explosion, you'll create one. You will pick a fight over a dishwasher, or maybe you'll get cold. You will test his boundaries just to force him to snap at you so your nervous system can say, there's the tiger, I knew it, and finally go back to baseline. And you didn't reject a good man because you lack taste. You rejected him because peace feels like an ambush to a traumatized body. We're going to do something right now. I promised that we wouldn't just do theory. Wherever you are sitting, unless you're driving, I want you to look at the very top right corner of the room you're in. Don't move your head, just move your eyeballs in the corner. Now keep your eyes there, and I want you to drop your tongue away from the roof of your mouth and let it sit heavy in the bottom of your mouth. Unclench your back teeth. Now take a breath in through your nose for a count of 4. Hold it for 2, and I want you to blow it out of your mouth like you're trying to make a candle flame flicker. Long, slow, controlled exhale. Do that one more time. Your tongue down, eyeballs in the corner. Inhale for 4. Hold at the top for 2. And exhale, slow, long flicker exhale. Notice what just happened to the back of your neck. Maybe notice the drop in your shoulders. Well, that took just 12 seconds. In 12 seconds, by moving your eyeballs to a peripheral corner, which tells the brainstem we are not being hunted by a predator right now, and by dropping the tongue, which stimulates the vagus nerve, we sent a fax directly to your brainstem that said, the war is paused. Now imagine what happens when you spend 12 weeks doing that to the deepest, most terrified parts of your psyche. When women ask me what the other side of the self-trust method looks like, they expect me to paint a picture of a movie montage where a handsome prince picks them up in a Mercedes. Well, I don't paint that picture. I paint a Tuesday morning. It's 7:15 a.m. You wake up, you reach over to the nightstand, you pick up your phone and you see the person you are dating didn't text you last night. And instead of your stomach dropping into your pelvis, instead of your brain generating 4 different mock conversations, you look at the screen, you put it down, and you walk into the kitchen. You peacefully make your coffee, and you notice the sunlight hitting the kitchen floor, and your mood belongs to you. It was not rented to you by a man's thumbs. It belongs to you. And maybe later that day, he texts you, "Hey, sorry, I fell asleep." And instead of typing a passive-aggressive paragraph or replying instantly to prove that you're cool or you're chill, your body checks in with itself and says, "Do I actually want to see this person tonight, or am I a little tired?" And you say, "No worries, I'm actually taking tonight to read. Let's catch up Friday." And when you hit send, your heart rate stays at 68 beats per minute. You don't call your group chat to ask if that was too mean. You just go ahead and put the kettle back on. That's sovereignty. That is a woman who has become her own home. Well, you have 2 options tonight. Option A is you close this YouTube app. You feel a massive sense of relief because someone actually explained your brain to you. Maybe you write 3 bullet points in your journal, and by next Tuesday night, your biology overrides this video because insight without embodiment is just entertainment. Or option B, you decide that 35 or 48 years of holding your breath underwater is enough. In this description right below the video, there's a link to my calendar. It is not a link to a group program. It is not a link to a pre-recorded course where you sit in a Facebook group with 400 other strangers. It is a link to sit face-to-face with me on Zoom for 45 minutes. We're going to look at your specific nervous system pattern. We're going to map out the exact parts of you that are still trying to earn your mother or your father's love through the men you date. And we're going to see if the self-trust method is the correct container to rebuild your internal safety. I take a very small number of women every month because this is nervous system work and it requires me to hold your hand. If you open that link and the calendar is full, check back next week. If there's a spot, take it. You don't need to become more lovable, my friend. You're already lovable. You just need to become safe. I'll see you in the room.